Looking to take your financial knowledge to the next level? You're in the right place. Welcome to Ask Ralph, offering accounting, technical, and financial advice. Whether you're looking to save taxes or improve your business, he's got you covered. Here's your host of Ask Ralph, Ralph Eastup Jr.
Welcome back to the Ask Ralph Show. Today we're joined by Hope Lopez, one of the owners of El Azteca restaurant. Hope, please tell me about yourself and your business.
Hello. First, I would like to thank you for having me on the Ask Ralph show. And yes, my name is Hope Lopez, and I am one of the owners of the El Azteca restaurant, which is like the Mexican restaurant in town here in Dover.
So, you and I have spoken about this before, but tell me about the challenges that you have of being a woman in business.
There's quite a few. What I have come to find out is that it's crazy that this day and age, I still have ran into men that have a problem with doing business with a woman. They kind of don't take you as seriously. For example, when we were building one of our locations, I noticed that a lot of things were kind of halfway done. And I feel that as a woman, sometimes you have to be a little bit louder per se, and just kind of be more, I guess, more strict and clear in how you say things than a man would.
Did you feel like they weren't taking you seriously, sort of putting your questions and your ideas aside? Is that what you felt like?
Yeah, I think I felt like they kind of like would listen, but just the way they would do things, construction wise, they would look like at me like I didn't know. Like I don't know anything that has to do with construction per se. So they would kind of just do things that, you could just look at and be like, that wasn't done right.
No, that makes perfect sense. So how were you able to combat that? You mentioned that you maybe spoke a little louder, but what were some other things that you did to try to combat that?
Just kind of have meetings with the owner of the company and be like, this is not what I want. And just kind of be very persistent and of what I want. I may have came across as more like controlling or perfectionist or whatever, but like I had a vision of what I wanted, and that's what I was going to pay for. Sure,
that makes sense. You mentioned that you have multiple. You talk about opening a new location, so I know you have multiple locations. So what's your secret, in making them successful when you're spreading yourself out among multiple locations?
Well, I think that it's vital to have good management in each location to run the day-to-day operations. But I think still it's nothing is going to be better than you being there, as an owner. We have great employees and we have great management and everything, but nobody has my vision. Like nobody knows what it is that I want. And still, like, I split my time between a week to try to be the equal time in each location and make sure that everything is running according to how I want it.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. I've worked with clients in the past who have said to me, Ralph, I can't find anybody decent to run my business for me. Mm-hmm. And I kind of look at them and say, well, there's your first problem. You've got to run your business yourself. And it sounds like you're sort of saying the same thing.
Yes, that's exactly right. Like nobody's going to run it like you, because only you know how much it costs you, and like your blood, tears, and sweat that you put into it. And other people, once your business goes down and you close because of whatever reason, they're just going to go and find another job, and you're stuck with everything.
So let's talk about what you're just talking about there. I think you're really getting to the point of, with so many restaurant choices for people, what sets your locations apart? What have you done to set aside your restaurants to why people will be so interested in doing business with you?
I think that first and foremost, I think it's the service. It's, we deal with a restaurant. For example, the quality of our product, the service, customer service is very important. And I think that our secret has always been to treat the customer like more than a business transaction.
Sure.
We have a lot of, like clientele that have been with us for years, and they always come back for the same reason, because they know who we are, they know how we treat them and everything. And I think that has really set us apart from everyone else.
And that's got to be difficult too when you're talking about customer service. How are you finding the market right now to find employees? And how do you impress upon them the importance of that contact with your customers?
Well, I think it all starts from there, our relationship with our employees. And I think that as long as the employees are happy, they're always going to reflect that into the customer. We've been very lucky that our employees have been with us for years. Mm-hmm. We've had the same employees, and we're always going to run into problems with finding employees and everything, but the ones that stay, they know how, how we work and everything. And I think we always try to do our best for our employees to be happy, and that always is going to reflect back into the customer service.
Well, no, I absolutely agree with that. One of the things, my wife and I eat out a lot, and we always talk about, the quality of the product. And one of the things you mentioned to me is that all of your food is made in-house, and you don't, yes. you're not buying stuff that's already prepackaged and pre-made. So talk to me a little bit about what you guys do.
Well, we like to make everything every day. Everything is fresh made, every morning. And mm-hmm. that's very important, I think. Everything from our salsas to chips. We just ran into this person right now, and he's like, I've never been to your restaurant before. He's like, do you make your salsa and chips in-house? And I'm like, yes, we do. And he's like, well, that means you have good food, because that's the first question I always ask, and that's going to tell me how the rest of the food is.
No, I absolutely agree with you. And with so many choices of these, modular type of restaurants where you go and it's already pre-made and they just heat it up for you, you certainly have set apart yourself. So here's a big pie in the sky question. So if you could change any law or add a law to make your business run smoother, what would it be?
I think that, oh my goodness, if we could have an employee, sort of like a credit check, have like an employee check thing where the employer can go back and look and see how this person, them have a record where sure. everyone can put how they work. That would be amazing. It would save me a lot of problems. I could save a lot of businesses a lot of problems, because, they just put, where have you worked before? And, if you weren't a good employee, you're not going to put them as a reference. So they're never going to call you. No,
that's absolutely true. Listen, Hope, I wanted to thank you for your time today. Please let my listeners know about any upcoming events or specials offered, and let us know about each of the addresses for your locations.
Yes. Actually, our new specials that we have is now we have our margarita flights in all 3 locations, and you get 4 samples of margaritas. And we're very excited. That's new. We had them in our Rehoboth restaurant, which is 20672 Coastal Highway. We have another location in Camden, 511 South Red Haven Lane, and another location in Dover, which is still a Azteca. It's right in front of Home Depot, and it's 859 North Dupont Highway.
Excellent. Well, I would certainly encourage my listeners to stop and see you. Thanks again, Hope. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You've been listening to Ask Ralph, brought to you by Saggio Accounting Plus. Please subscribe to and rate our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a rating and review. Our podcast is produced by Carolyn Peters. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Ask Ralph Media. You can also hear me each week on 1450 WILM and on 1410 WDOV in Delaware, and on the iHeartRadio app. Submit your questions or ideas for future shows by sending an email to AskRalph@AskRalph.com.
The information contained in this episode of Ask Ralph is based on data available as of the date of its release. Saggio Accounting Plus and Ask Ralph Media Inc. is under no obligation to update this content if changes occur. Applying this information to your specific situation requires careful consideration of all facts and circumstances, and any information provided is not to be considered as financial, tax, or legal advice. Please consult your tax advisor or attorney before acting on any material covered.